please allow me to introduce my friend and people and culture expert, Jonathan Reynolds.
Thanks a lot, Derek. One of the things Derek does for me is help me stay focused as a raging entrepreneur. And he always talks about start the meeting on time and end on time, yet he took 15 minutes of my time. Just a little dig. So I'm going to go fast, but about 15 years ago, I was working with a $20 billion company as a regional employee, and it was in the housing crisis, and I was put on a PIP, a performance improvement plan, because I wasn't hitting my numbers. And it wasn't the numbers of performance and outputs. I was 400% of my quota, but I was told I wasn't making enough dials. And I thought, I'm not made for this world. I'm not made for this big corporate thing. I think I'm an entrepreneur. I think I can see a better way of doing it, which many of you sit in those seats, in those roles, like, what if we did this? What if we did this? What if we did this? And I love that about America. Even today being Veterans Day, I'm just deeply thankful. I'm British by birth, American by choice. But when I was working for this $20 billion company and I was put on a performance improvement plan, I remember there sitting going, I'm newlywed, I have a 1-year-old daughter, I have a mortgage to pay, and I knew something that they didn't know. My visa had expired. So I was technically an undocumented worker. And I'm like, shoot, I cannot get fired because I will not get rehired anywhere because I don't have any paperwork here. Don't worry, I talked it all through with the immigration people many years ago. I married my green card, and she doesn't like to be introduced as that, but anyway, I also then went on to start this company I'm a part of right now. Derek mentioned in the people strategy space, helping companies with their hiring, how to identify right talent, how to onboard, integrate, and manage right talent. And I've just spent my entire career in the people space, helping companies and entrepreneurs figure out what they need, who they need, and how they're going to get them to their goals and objectives. I remember about 5 years ago after writing a book on a leader's guide to hiring top performers, and I got fired in my own company from hiring people. Yeah, I was upset by this. I'm like, I own the company. You can't fire me from hiring. I'm like, I hired all of you. And they're like, yeah, and you've also hired some not so good ones. And I'm like, yeah, but listen, I'm a visionary. I can see diamonds in the coal. You must trust me. You need to trust me. I know how to do this stuff. And I was told that, no, my gut is not a good process to follow. And I'm like, okay, fine. So the last time I hired somebody, I was told I have to fire them after 30 days, even though I was on a family vacation. And I said, why do I have to fire him? Because you told us to hire him, and we all knew that he was bad. And I'm like, man, I cannot believe I'm looking at this right now, and I've coached so many leaders, business leaders, on not doing what I did. Follow the process, have a scorecard for hiring, don't trust your gut, even though many of you have gone, I can tell you within the first 6 minutes if this person's going to be a fit or not. And in our heart of hearts, when we really evaluate that, we realize what we're saying is, I can tell you in the first 6 minutes if I like them, especially if they like me. If they can build my ego a little bit and suck up to me, I think I like them. And when I looked in the mirror, I realized that and thought, okay, I will resign from hiring in my own company as long as I trust that everyone else is going to follow the process. And so I want to talk today a little bit about a process that we designed, which I set out to, I said, wouldn't it be amazing if we could increase the quality of our hiring? When we're identifying talent, whether it be a franchisee or an employee for our organization, wouldn't it be great if we could actually increase the quality of hiring, which maybe then go, well, how do you define quality of hire? How do you define what's a good quality person? And so I said, first and foremost, it's what percentage of the people that you hire get 100% of the job done by a given period of time. So what does excellence look like by their 1-year anniversary date? That's it. What would we pay them to do that excellently? And anything less than that, I would say, is not good quality. How they get the job done, the culture and the values and all of those things are really, really important. But it would be like hiring a general contractor or a contractor to come to your house and redo the bathroom. And you're like, I really like this guy. He's a really nice guy. He doesn't get the project done on time. He doesn't get it done on budget. And it looks nothing like you thought it was going to be. And you're like, but I do like him. Like everyone will be like, what's happening? I know you like him, but that's not what he's here for. And so we've got to remember why we're hiring people and be really, really clear in the interview process. I'm going to go lightning fast in a very, very fast speed here. So hopefully you can keep up with my pace and my accent. And if you need me to do bilingual, I can do all American for you because I'm well trained. You want me to do it? Do it, prove it. Oh my gosh, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for listening. All right. So first and foremost, anytime if you're looking for somebody, a franchisee, we've helped franchisee organizations identify talent in cities across the United States. We craft this thing, but first of all, it's the seat. What is that role? What does it look like? And that's 3 to 5 quantifiable performance objectives that need to be done by the anniversary date. And I will promise you that if it's a janitor or a CEO, define what success looks like by quantifiable outcomes, and it will help you in your interviewing. And it will freak out anyone who's not qualified for the job. They're like, oh, wait, you're going to hold me accountable? Yes, we are. We expect you to do the job 100%. So really, really clear on what that role is. Let me go into these here. Back up. The search. Where the heck are they? People ask us all the time, where do you find these people? I'm like, finding them. We're in the easiest age to find people. It's called data. It's all out there. I can find people all day long. No problem. Not a problem. Recruiting them, that's a different problem. Wooing them while simultaneously vetting them is really important. Now, I wasn't somebody who went out to bars when I was single and handing out phone numbers and things like that, but sometimes I see hiring as like this. It'd be like going into a bar and going, hey, everyone, I'm single, and throwing up a bunch of pieces of paper with your phone number and like, grab my phone number and call me if you're interested. Like, everyone would be like, what a creep. What a weirdo. Heck no. No, stay far away from you. But people put these flappy signs flowing in the wind outside their office saying, we're hiring. And I'm like, who are you trying to attract? Like, stop the bus. I need a job. Like, that's not where A players are hanging out, looking at flappy signs in the wind. A players, heads down, succeeding somewhere else. And you have to go, if I want to hire an A player, I need to think how an A player thinks and market to the A player to woo them. And so the search, where are you going to find these people? What organizations are they working at? Assuming they're working. I would like to assume that if you want to hire somebody, they are very valuable and they were very busy and they are making a big impact somewhere else. How are you going to woo them? How are you going to grab their attention? And I'll talk to you a bit about some of the research and the stats we've seen on A players, because we track every single person we place. It's in the tens of thousands now across North America. And by the way, we're not a recruiting firm. We don't have a database of candidates. We only steal people. So we have a lot of data on what attracts talent and what attracts A players. And then the selection process, you've got to assess them well. You've got to have a system and a process, as Derek talked about. One of the reasons you have to have a system and a process is you've got to know why it didn't work when it didn't work. And I will promise you it will not work 100% of the time because people are very, very messy. But you need to be able to do a post-mortem after the fact and go, what went wrong there? What was it about those people or that person that we hired? We stood up in front of the organization and said, we're so excited that so-and-so's here with us. We believe they're going to make a big impact. And then somewhere down the road, like, yeah, they weren't that very good, were they? I'm like, well, who made them not good? Because you told everyone that they were going to be great. Did you assess them poorly or did you turn them bad? Sometimes happens as well in leadership. And then really measuring the success of those people. I tell leaders all the time, I'm like, okay, so what do they need to do, achieve, or accomplish by their anniversary date for you to say that's a success? All right, what must they do by day 90? And if they haven't done that quantifiably, is going to make you sweat, and it should be making them sweat. And they're like, oh, I don't know. I think just be a good culture fit. I'm like, rubbish. You're not paying them to be a culture fit. You're paying them to get stuff done. 100% performance equals 100% pay, and vice versa. I love it when people say, hey, can we negotiate the pay? And I'm like, absolutely, as long as we can negotiate the value you create in our organization. And they're like, what? I'm like, well, that's why we're hiring you, right? We're hiring you to add value here. If you don't want to negotiate that, you don't even understand why we're hiring you. I'm not hiring a warm body. So one of the things we've seen is understanding people. There's a lot going on. So A players make career moves only when there is a stretch. It's a bigger job than they've done before. If you're hiring a franchisee, there's got to be some kind of a challenge. If they've done exactly the same job 10 times over, they might not be attracted by this role. So there's got to be some kind of a stretch. Next is growth. Do I believe if I crush these goals in the next 18 months, like you say, and you've road mapped out for me, what's next? What's next for me? Do I still believe I'm going to be stretched in 18 months' time? Impact. Can I see the impact of my role? You cannot do what you want to do without me. That's A players want to know. You wouldn't recruit somebody from the Chiefs to go and join the, I don't know, you fill in the blanks. They go, well, do you want to come and sit on the sideline? At least you'll be on our team. And they're like, no, I was in the Super Bowl. Like, I already did that. I don't want to go sit on the bench. Like, same thing. They don't want to go and just do exactly the same role and join another team. They want to be stretched. They want to be, what's the next in their career trajectory. And then satisfaction, which really comes down, pay me well, sure. And I want to work with people who are not jerks. That was nicely filtered. Okay, so I don't have much time to go into this, but a lot of job descriptions or job postings, one of the ways you can do this, if you're trying to recruit people for your organization or franchisees, what are they going to see when they find you? What's your message that you're putting out there online, on social media? And how does that compare to anyone else? I see so many job descriptions and postings that are very skills-based. Must have 7 years of experience. Must have 2 years of this. I'm like, oh my gosh, shoot me. Like, this is like not wooing me at all. You got to speak about where they're going and growing. Like, this is the kind of impact we want you to have. We want to grow, manage, transform, expand, destroy the territory. Like, something where they're like, all right, I'm leaning in, But talk about the quantifiable impact of like, we want you to grow to this market, 5 million in revenue within this period of time. And if you do that, here's what kind of rewards we want to give you. People go, okay, no, I'm listening. So outcome and performance-based. Where the heck are you getting your people from? I stepped in here yesterday and I heard somebody talking about the power of data. A guy stood on the stage and went, I know all the data. And I'm thinking, if you know the data of where your A players are coming from, you can replicate and duplicate all day long. But you've got to know the data. You've got to know, where am I sourcing my top talent from? Are the best ones coming from referrals? Are the best ones coming from job postings, or you actively going out and hunting the passive candidates? But know these things. This is average numbers here, where people get them from. Most people are getting their stuff from job postings, and then they wonder why those people don't work. Well, we keep posting on Indeed. Sorry, I shouldn't use other people's brands in a poor way. Or in my dumb voice, which is also synonymous with my wife's version of any dude talking. Anyway, so including me. But referrals, and reward for referrals. And figure out what the reward is. It doesn't always have to be monetary. Just a side note, we created these whole referral campaigns which tied to experience. So rather than saying, hey, we'll give you $500 or $1,000 if you refer somebody to our organization, but we're going to do this whole campaign around a customized referral where we're going to find out what you're passionate about. You want to go to see the Dolphins? We're in Florida, right? Dolphins. You want to go see the Dolphins? So we're going to send you and your family in a limo to go and watch a Dolphins game. And they're like, whoa, and we want you to take some photographs, and then we're going to post that on social media, and then we're going to connect and send a little postcard in the mail to the person you did refer to their significant other. So they're like, dang, honey, the organization that you just got hired with, look, the person who referred you got to do this. We should refer some people as well. And how it perpetuates it, rather than somebody gets $1,000 and they pay their energy bill and it's all gone, poof. Create an experience that's Instagrammable, and it'll perpetuate, and you have a heck of a lot more shelf life of your brand. It's a little side note tip for you, but it works. If you think in what motivates the people rather than just paying a bill that they have to pay. All right, understanding people, I like to say, is it's not a resume you're hiring. It's not just a portfolio of your hiring or their work history. About a third of the equation is that. That's what we call the briefcase, the skills and experience, what they bring to the table. The next third is their heart, the values, their motivation, their character. How are you going to assess that? People often hire people for what they know because they don't have to train them, and then they fire them for who they are. They're like, man, brought you in because I thought you could do all this stuff, but how you do it is really irritating and it's causing people to quit. And I don't enjoy my job anymore because you're here. So that's how we fire people. But briefcase, heart, and head, or head, heart, briefcase. The head is behaviors and cognitive. When Derek said, you must choose a system, choose an operating system to run your business on, choose an assessment to figure out what goes on here. Because some people, you need to know what's going on in people's heads. Cognitively, how they see things, how they process information, and behaviorally, instinctive. What do they do, and how do they respond, and how do they react? So we use valid legal assessments for that. Don't go and pick the Enneagram. It's illegal for hiring. Don't pick Myers-Briggs. It says on their website, don't do this for hiring. Use something. We use the predictive index. This is our one of choice right now. And it helps us understand people, not to weed them out, but to go, okay, I understand how you're wired and how you're motivated. Head, heart, briefcase. But have a process. Have a scorecard for this. Understand everybody's different. They don't think like you. Generationally, backgrounds, etc. Baby boomers, in that sort of 59-year plus, it's changing all the time, so it's maybe skewed slightly, but one of the values of that generation would be job security. Security. Stay at that job for a long time, otherwise you're going to get screwed. Right? That's a generational value that's very generalized, so it's not to everybody, but it is a generational value. Gen X, significance. I want to matter. I was a latchkey kid. My parents... I was a latchkey kid. I want to have lots of significance in the life of my kids. I will be at every game. I will show up. It's very, very important. I want to be significant in people's lives. I want to do things that are significant. Millennials go, hey, helicopter parents, back off. I want freedom. So just keep pendulum swinging. So give me freedom. Don't micromanage me. You mean don't ask you what you've done today? Yes, don't micromanage me. Suffocating me. Wait, asking you for accountability? I don't understand this, It's give me freedom, freedom, freedom. You have to understand the wiring here. And then Gen Z, purpose, and it goes on to the next alpha gen and keep going. But they'll keep pendulum swinging. But if you understand the generation and what motivates people, you can actually cater your language to them to get the most from them. They are not lazy, this, crazy, blah, blah, blah. They just are wired different than you. And you've got to tap into that to motivate the right stuff, get the most from your people, and give the most to them. People want a vision, but they have to be able to see themselves in that picture. This is one of my favorite quotes from a very famous guy called Jonathan Reynolds, which if you didn't catch, that is me. But you talk about the future of your organization as an owner, maybe, and be like, here, if I can grow it to this, and then there's my exit, and then this happens, and you're compelled by it. But most employees aren't. They've got to, but you've got to, depending on who you're hiring, what you're recruiting, you've got to tap them into this future vision as if it was a puzzle box. The puzzle box inspires you to actually do the puzzle. If somebody handed you a Ziploc bag and said, here's what I want you to go and do, or here's what the future looks like, they've got to see themselves in it. Hey, do you see the picture? Yes. Where are you in this picture? Do you get it? Do you understand what we're trying to build here? Do you want to be in the future? And do you have the ability and the capability and the capacity to be in that future? And then you can coach them and develop them into that. Whatever the role is. People are incredibly complex. There are things going on in your life today that was not going on 6 months ago. Think about it. Something. If you've got kids, teenagers, I have 3 teenagers in the house. My life is complicated because of that. And it's unpredictable. I show up here today with drama going on in my house from a week ago. I'm like, it affects how I show up. It affects how each one of us in this room and everyone in our organization. If you can be aware of that and be empathetic to it and understand those things and be gracious and compassionate and kind, but also incredibly clear about where the organization is going, You'll get a lot out of your people if you give a lot more to them. But helping paint the picture when it comes to getting the right people in your organization, getting the right franchisees in your markets, getting people, you understand the people, be very clear on what outcomes need to be, quantifiably. Very, very clear. Hold them accountable to that and be gracious and kind, saying, hey, help me understand why you're not hitting it if they're not hitting it. Let me help you get there. I think one of the interesting stages we're at right now, just from a people side, I mean, we're in an interesting dynamic right now because a lot of stuff that are going on in the industry is automation. Can we automate that? Can AI do that? Can AI do that? There's a lot of fear for people. Like, is AI taking my jobs? Is AI going to do this for me? And people we're seeing our business, like Derek said, we have 1,600 clients that we work with across the country or North America. And we're probably working on 400 critical searches at any given time for organizations like yours, and then helping get teams working really, really well together. There's a lot of fear around what the future holds, but assuring people that there is a future for them in the organization, but be really clear on where you're going, how you're going to get there, and how they fit into the organization. But the biggest thing that I see is what players want to know is what winning looks like. Am I doing a good job? Am I winning or not? When it's this ambiguity around what winning looks like, being really clear on what it takes to win the Super Bowl, being really clear on what it takes to win the championship. And people, if they know what their role is within that, and they know how they fit in it, and they know what success looks like to you, that brings the right transformation in people's hearts, and it causes a higher level of engagement, and people are going to want to do what they do with you. Thanks a lot for having me.